Hi, welcome to Realistic Renovations and Refinishing. Today, we're not going to do a thing. Hi, welcome to Realistic Renovations and Refinishing. I'm Sean, and this is our garage. That's Susan. So we're almost done with the garage. Basically all we're waiting for is the toolbox, which by the time you see this, the toolbox will already be in here and the garage will be finished. This is just to fill up time and some of the tasks we wanted to get done. One of which was a holder for all our fishing poles. Now, basically all it's going to be is a 1 by 12 by 8 and a 10-foot piece of 1.5-inch PVC. We made up plans. We had something built kind of like this before. It worked out great. It since has disappeared or fell off the truck on the way here to Florida. But one way or another, we're going to build another one for you guys. Rough costs about 30 bucks. It's about $20 for the board, which is fairly expensive. I'm sure you can find one cheaper. We got a big box store. We won't say which one. There's only 2 or 3, so you can figure it out. And PVC, I think, was $5.50. So a 10-foot piece of PVC was $5.50. Handful of screws. Most people, if they're doing any kind of woodwork or any kind of stuff like this, they can get screws fairly cheap, or you have them around the house. It doesn't need to be anything special. We're not going to use glue. We're not going to use the nail gun. We're just going to use simple tools, basically electric drill, which most people have, a miter saw. I have a compound miter saw, but you can pick up a regular miter saw on Craigslist. I think I bought my first one for 25 bucks about a year and a half ago. Worked great, and I just needed something a little bit nicer, something a little bit better for some of the other projects we plan on doing. But shouldn't be too hard. I'll give you all the measurements and stuff like that for it. It should hold approximately 12 fishing poles. If you have more than 12 fishing poles, I envy you. Every time we go there, we end up buying, every time we go to one of the fishing shops or something like that, we end up buying a fishing pole. So I feel for you. It's kind of an addiction to some people. I think I have maybe 8 to 10, but we'll show a picture up here or somewhere on the screen of how our fishing poles are actually stored currently. So when we pull one fishing pole out, we usually end up pulling about 4 of them out of the corner. They're all leaning up against each other, they get tangled up, stuff like that. So we're trying to fix it so it's a little bit easier. Plus we can separate the fishing poles into the shorter poles and then the giant offshore poles, the beach fishing poles and stuff like that. So with that, I'll show you how to turn this to this to this. So we took the 1 by 12 by 8 and cut it down into 6 pieces, 2 of which are 23 inches long for the base and 4 for the box that we're going to screw the PVC onto at 12 inches. So there's no, I think there's about 2 or 3 inches of scrap for the wood at least. Now these we cut them about 9 inches. Doesn't need to be perfect, but about 9 inches on the farthest points, and we cut them at a 45-degree angle. One of the reasons we did that is because if you can see the holes, it actually gives us access to drill the holes and screw them into the piece of wood, where if it was flat, you wouldn't be able to do that quite well. Plus it gives you a little bit more length per piece of PVC, because you'll cut them like that. So we got 12 out of here. Should give us plenty, maybe. Over time, I'm sure we'll need a bigger stand, but as of right now, 12 should suffice. So we'll start the assembly. Again, there's no complex tools, no complex things. To put it together, basically drill the holes, install it, put the screws in, no glue, no nailing, no nothing, just screws holding it together. I mean, it could go overboard and put glue and nails and hidden fasteners and all this other stuff, but again, this is going into a storage unit to keep our poles, which is where we keep all our fishing stuff. That way it's out of the way of the house, doesn't get damaged in the garage. So hope you like it, and on to the assembly. After doing the cuts, the first thing we have to do is drill the holes for all the screws going through, holding basically the box together. Now, the way I do it is, first of all, turn it this way. As you can see, there's marks on it. So this right here is the thickness of the board. So the reason I did that is so when I drill the holes this way, I know where to drill. I know the center of this, so it goes into the center of that thickness. Also, I drew this line. What this line is for the PVC pieces that will go in here that will actually hold the rods themselves. Now, we'll go ahead and drill this, and when we get through with this portion of it, I'll stop and explain some of the other things we're doing and why we're doing it. So again, the way I mark these, I do have this, but I actually did not use this. I used basically the board, drew a line on the board, that way I know where the line is here, and then I just used a tape measure to find the center of this, and then used one of the same boards to mark it here. So you don't have to buy one of these, you don't have to have one of these. If you have a ruler, again, this is a straight line. You don't have to have anything special. You already have a straight edge by the boards that you just cut. So keep that in mind. So let's go ahead and drill all these. I'll go ahead and go through time lapse real quick. I'll drill it all and I'll stop and I'll show you what we're doing next and why we're doing it. So, okay. Holes are drilled. Now, the reason I marked the lines is that these actually go on the inside. And with that being said, I need to install these first before I actually close up the box. And after I close it up, I'll explain or I'll show you why. So let me go ahead and do that. And I hope I have enough. I will put these together. Now, the reason I
put these in here first is when I start closing up the box, like so, you won't be able to screw these in very well. So they are centered the way the box goes together, basically like that. You wouldn't be able to get that drill in here, or even a smaller drill into the bottom or anything like that. It would get in the way, it would be cumbersome. While you have it taken apart, you might as well install them all. Easy. And I have no idea if I have enough screws to hold this together. We'll find out. Okay, so as you can see, it'll be kind of hard to put them in here, especially at the bottom and stuff like that. So again, it's easier to put it in when it's apart than it is all together. So quick, easy thing. Now for the base. Just because. Now we are gonna center this. Crap. Need a pen. So this is basically where it's gonna sit. So I can drill the holes in here, flip this over, and install this on the bottom, drill it in. I don't have to worry about making sure I hit the right area. So let me go ahead and drill the holes on this. Using the lines that you marked off before, so the center of this, if you can see, is the center of, should be able to show you now. The center of this is already marked, so you can line up the center of these boards with this marking. Like so. Now, these lines should be lined up already, and these lines as well, because you can see them. I do have to say that's pretty impressive, because I did not count the hardware, I just eyeballed what I had. If you're wondering what this one is, it's a machine screw. Why that was in there, I have no idea. I usually have them all separated. And that's all of them. I use every last bit of it. Yeah, perfect. So, again, this is all from the same 8-foot piece, I believe. Okay, it's been so long I can't remember. It might have been a 10-foot piece, but it was under $30. I still have the outside ones to do, and I'll explain those in a second. Okay, Now, like I did the inside, install these on the outside on the lines like this. That way you have 4 rods on the inside and 8 on the outside. If you need more, you can always make a longer box, whichever. I don't have that many yet. I'm sure I'll get there once everything is better. Okay, so there you go. You have, rip the paper. You have 12 rod holders, 8 on the outside, 4 on the inside. So the reason I made the base so large for this one is because I do have some beach fishing poles, which are extremely long and extremely heavy compared to the smaller ones I have. I do have some smaller 6 foot, 7 foot, but the ones that are super long, they do break apart into 2 pieces, and it's still a heavy fishing pole. So again, I could have gone further. I could have gotten, you know, a different style. I could have done more extravagant, but this is going into a storage unit. It's not going into a house or a show garage or anything like that. Even though we are in a really nice garage, this won't be in my garage. So the reason I decided to make my own instead of getting one from the store, I did look at a few at the store, and they were anywhere from $50 to $100, and they were extremely flimsy. I mean, it really, the ones I saw at the store, I'll leave that store nameless, it basically looked like if you put more than 4 pulls on it, it would basically just collapse over to one side. Very small base, little tiny wheels on it, very flimsy, extremely flimsy. This isn't going to go anywhere. Again, it's for holding the fishing poles. It's not going to tip over. I don't even think if you have some large fishing poles in here that are the heaviest ones over there, you're not going to do it. Again, simple project, can do it in a day. If you like the video, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And again, there'll be more of this stuff. I love coming up with ideas that make it easy for me, and also I like building stuff that's better than what the store can do for the same price. So, thank you very much. Hope to see you next video.